used to be time. I found a rhythm I can call my own. A quiet drum carved in bone. Peace within, that's where I begin. No need to prove, no need to win. In every breath, I learn again to live, to love, to just remain.
Welcome to the Otta's Tiny House Village, where we are cultivating, promoting peace within. Today is Friday, January 23rd, 6-7. So it's a number 7 in the numerical energy of our universe. This week, in case you missed it, there are 18 Buddhist monks walking from Texas to Washington, D.C., and they are currently, I believe, in North Carolina, Georgia area. They were in Decatur, Georgia this week, and so I believe they're in their way to North Carolina, south, where the winds are going to blow and it's going to get really cold. But we are in this place. My heart, I am joining with these 18 monks to cultivate loving kindness, compassion, and peace within. So welcome to Viada's Tiny House Village, where we're going to help you today, if you're willing, to promote that peace within, so that the whole point of these 18 monks spreading their love energy, that's what they're doing. They're spreading their love energy across the, I guess you could say, Eastern United States, to bring peace to the world, because it starts with each one of us promoting this peace within and stopping all the turmoil, the fear, the worry, so that we can have peace in our world, in our earth, in our countries, with our sisters and brothers all over the planet. So welcome to the village, and I'm going to be playing, of course, as usual, some educational speaking videos from professionals who can help us continue to promote this peace. So welcome to the village. Let's rock and roll in the village. Village. I'm here in my living room, in my very small space, but big space for me, because I love it. And this is my peace place, because it's just me living here, and I don't have a lot of conflict or challenges in my space. When I leave out that door, though, challenges galore, because the energy outside that door is always testing me. I say testing me. Even I have a grandson who's 9 years old who tested me like never before this weekend, and I'm actually grateful. So that's why I want to share with you some ways to keep the peace, inner peace. Because when my friends and relatives are reacting to life's challenges with fear, especially fear, we really need to work on the fear if we want to bring peace to the world. Some people think it doesn't have anything to do with us, what's going on with Diddy, the bad behavior. or the world, the government, the narcissistic activity, greed. It is a mirror, in my opinion. It's a mirror of what's going on inside of all of us. And so if we can see all this activity out here as just a mirror, then I hope it will motivate you to go within and find your peace so that, like these monks, that it will spread throughout your community, your family, your friends. So let us do what we do best, and that's roll some joints and get high. Yes, let's get high. Yes, not these kind of joints. I did lots of that in my youth, and I'm grateful for that experience because I don't need it anymore. Oh boy, when I think I started smoking joint marijuana when I was like 15, maybe younger. I don't know. We in my high school friends we were pretty radical. And in high school, we had a friend who would get marijuana from her uncle's cabinet, and we'd roll joints and put them in. No, we didn't even roll joints. We had little nickel bags we would sell out of our lockers in high school. Yes, it's testimony. Free me. We did some crazy things. That's why this song, Grace, Peace with, no, not Grace That Chases Me, is my one of my favorite songs because when you think about all the stupid things you did as a youth in your youth, you can just say, Grace, Grace, thank you for your grace. Thank you for your protection. I'm so grateful. And now if you saw my Wednesday show, I hope you go back and watch my Wednesday show, millennials versus boomers. Can we all get along? Well, some millennials, I saw another video other than the one I played on Wednesday. I saw another YouTube video, or it was a short of a young lady, millennial more than likely, blaming the boomers for her challenges and trials and her unhappy life, I guess, because that's what it appeared. It's those boomers. And she particularly mentioned Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and those so called leaders who messed up everything in her opinion. She said civil rights is no longer relevant. It's we don't need it. And she's right. She's definitely I wrote a comment saying, "You're right, honey. I'm with you. I'm with you. We don't need the Jesse Jacksons and Al Sharptons anymore. Nope, nope, nope. It's time for us empower ourselves, find peace within, and meditate like the Buddhist monks. You know, we have had people praying. We pray for things. We beg for things all our lives in different faiths. But these Buddhist monks are taking action. And that's why I admire them. I had tears in my eyes at one point watching a video of them in walking through, I think it was Decatur, Georgia. Just the love energy that was displayed moved me to tears. And I think if you can catch them on Facebook, they actually have a Facebook page. You might be moved to tears just to see the demonstration of love, not only in these monks, but in the people who are gathering to give them flowers and to bless them on their journey. So I'm praying for them to get through this cold spell, especially because this winter storm coming is going to challenge a lot of people. Florida is going to escape it for the most part. We're going to be, it looks like we're going to be in the 70s and 80s this weekend, while you guys up there up north are going to be suffering in the winter cold and ice. So we send love to all our northerners. You need it, obviously. If you're getting it, you need it, and it's a test like you've never had before. So they're saying it's going to be one of the worst storms, but that's the time for you to go within, peace within. As these monks said, we all can choose to find peace within by meditating, prayer, nature walks, whatever you need to do. We encourage you to eliminate, let go, detox from all the fear, worry, anxiety about whatever you're going through, because it's going to be okay if you say it's going to be okay. Because this right up here is the command center. That's why I love covering my head with different color cloths and wraps, because this is a sacred place up here. Your brain, it's command center that controls your body, but sometimes we let our body control our brain, right? We get pains and aches and this and that. My gut is so out of balance right now that I have to use this brain to get my gut back in balance. It's really about my overeating of fermented foods. I had way too much fermented foods in the past week, and it's like my gut was like. So now my brain is saying, okay, what are we going to do about this? And so my brain is going to do some things. I'm going to choose some different substances or supplements like probiotics. I haven't had probiotics in a long time, but because of my choices, I'm going to do some different things to help my body get back in balance. And that's really what most of us are going through, a out of balance situation, because we have made choices, right? We made choices to do certain things out here in the world, and now we are out of balance mentally, emotionally. I don't know what is going to happen. What if this happens in the future? What if this, what if that? So let us work together. Let us work together this day, this hour, to cultivate the peace that we all need to help the world be in peace. This is a collective community activity to bring us all into more harmony and unity, because 2026 is the number one that is in the energy is asking us, is promoting, is motivating us to be one and be in unity. So let us practice that in the next few days, weeks, months, so that we can change the world. I have a video by Marianne Williamson I'm going to play. She brought it home about the psychological adjustments we need to make if we want to see change. And it's not trusting this government for sure. That's a wacko drama Twilight Zone show in Washington, D.C. And that's why those monks are headed there, to change the energy in Washington, D.C., which is so corrupt, so confusing, so dark in some places, that the monks decided they're going to suffer. These guys are suffering. 18 monks, 18 Buddhist monks, walking barefoot, some of them, from Texas to DC. We can barely walk to the grocery store, but they're walking from Texas to Washington, DC. Discipline, they're demonstrating discipline, and most of all, love in their heart, to see changes in our country. So I'm going to put on some music, and we're going to do our joint rolling, because it starts with us. Why do we do joint? If you're new to Viada's Tiny House Village, what are we doing joint rolling for? Number one, it improves our circulation. So I hope that every morning when you wake up, you think joint rolling, because you want improved circulation. And it improves our lymphatic system. It helps drain the viruses and the bacteria that we don't need. And it helps our immune system, pumping up our immune system to fight. The enemy is back down here in our gut, but then our immune system is going to be revved up when we're joint rolling, because movement is everything. And then lastly, muscles. It's strengthening our muscles. If you had any problems with your knees, this joint rolling is going to help strengthen the muscles around the knees, that will help you walk better, do everything better, perform your life better. So we do have some people commenting. I'm going to show these comments before we get started. Robert Young says, hallelujah, Yahweh. Absolutely. That's why we're here. We're praising the Most High inside of all of us. Francis Harris is here. Good morning. Thank you, Francis, for joining us. Grand Rising and all that. And then Robert Young, focus on your purpose. Absolutely. And what is our purpose? Number one purpose: take care of this sacred temple, in my opinion. Number one is take care, love the sacred temple that your soul, remember, it's your soul in here. It's your soul, which means this kingdom inside of us is directing the soul. So let us pay attention to the need for peace within our soul, vessel, kingdom within. So let me continue I'm going to play my reggae music while I do our joint rolling, because I just want us to be reminded of the peace within. It starts with you. So let's put chin to chest and roll this head around to strengthen the throat chakra muscles. Let's just call them throat chakra muscles, but they're also resonant activation portals. Activation portals in the neck. Yes, this is a microcosm of the macrocosmic universe. So we're just being reminded, how do we get peace? We are mindful of how big the universe is, and yet it's all in here, micro. And so we roll around this neck to activate that galactic portal from the macrocosm of the universe. And we give thanks. In every breath, let's just take a deep breath through the nose. Let it out. That's the key. I watched an interview of the head monk talking to a sister who was crying and sitting on the ground with him. And he was instructing her at every challenge to take a deep breath. The monk was instructing her very softly, kindly. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. And she was just crying and weeping and just happy to know him and happy and blah, 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 blah. So let us mirror the energy of these monks. Breathing in peace. Peace. Peace ain't loud. Don't demand. It holds your hand. So let's roll our shoulders back and loosen up the back. Not just the shoulder joints, but the muscles in the back. Get exercise when we do this action and go forward. The shoulders are our rhythmic and galactic portals, activation portals. What are we activating? The kingdom within. Yes. We're activating the kingdom to do its work without us having to say, digestive system, do this, small intestine, do that, colon, do that. It can work all on its own if we just move in the rhythm of peace. We don't have to rush and be have anxiety about anything. Just move. Just flow. Okay, we go in and out. Thank you. All right. And then let's just do some swimming in the sea of energy all around us. We can have peace to know that we still have oxygen around us. We still have trees. We have everything we need to live a healthy, nourishing life. Nourishment coming from all around us. I was visiting a friend this week, and they were really kind of anxious about, they needed to eat something they hadn't eaten, and it just came to me, just be nourished in the moment by your environment. Be nourished when you breathe in oxygen. We don't always have to stuff something in our mouth to be nourished. That's part of the peace journey, is knowing if you don't have a meal today. My dad grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, back in the late mid-20s, and he said sometimes they didn't have anything to eat all day. He lived to be 95 years old.
I can
Let that sink in. So it's not the food that's nourishing you. If your mind can go where the monks are going, and remember, peace within will nourish you. You have peace within, you'll be nourished. So let's get on our backs and kick up our legs and nourish and rotate these ankles and wrists. The ankles are representing magnetic cosmic tones, the wrists self-existing planetary tones, going in one direction and then the other. When you're in bed, just take your time and do these rotations, these rolls. And let's just rub our hands together. Hit the knees, rub the knees. You can do this. You can do this. No matter how old you're, just take your time. And let's roll the lower legs around to warm up the knee joints, strengthen the muscles. The knees are crystal and lunar tone portals. Crystal and lunar portals that are activating your starseed location up in the cosmic forces. And let's reverse that. Peace within. That's where we begin. No need to prove. Now, remember, if you can't roll like this and this and this, just bend and point as best you can. Bend and point. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. The main thing is to get the blood flowing. Are you feeling alone?
Remember, peace will guide you.
Peace will guide you home. Keep the peace.
It's not out there.
So let's turn over on our side. He says peace is in your skin. Do you know that? All right, let's roll this leg around to warm up the hips and let's prevent some surgeries, because we don't need to be going under the knife. If we have peace within and if we exercise this body, let's reverse that. Take your time. Look at all. This is your root chakra, your sacral chakra in here. You are stirring up a lot of energy, which is your spectral and electric portal. So let's flip over and get the other hip going. We are energizing the root chakra. Energizing the root chakra. You're living today to bring peace within the world first and peace within here. And let's reverse that. Take your time. Take your time. We are just waking up this body, waking up this temple, so we can have peace when we walk, when we talk, when we live.
Make them friends. Let go of battles.
Let go of the battles
That
never end.
Now I walk
Now again, if you can't roll like that, then all you're doing in the morning is just lifting. Just feel the energy moving. If you just lift that leg one at a time, breathing in, breathing in.
Once it comes, it stays inside. Peace within.
Peace within.
That's where
Feel that peace within. You're just moving slowly. Now let's just bring our knees to our chest. Hug those knees. Say thank you, body, for your strength, for your motion. Rock side to side. Give your spinal cord a little massage. Rock to one side over here and push up. Push up slowly, slowly. peace will guide you home. Breathe in, breathe in. It's not out there. It's not out there.
It's in your skin.
It's in your skin.
You're not lost, you're just within.
Hallelujah. Now breathe in.
Peace within.
Let's rub our hands together and activate that vagus nerve. You can learn a lot about the vagus nerve when you go online on YouTube, especially. There's tons of educational videos. There is a beautiful, in fact, on my Facebook page, I posted this amazing video of how the vagus nerve works in your body. But we stimulate it by squeezing the back of the neck, releasing, squeezing, and release. Squeeze and release. Sending love so we can have peace, peace, peace. Sending love so we can have peace, peace, peace. Stretch, bringing the lymphatic system, activating it under right here in your neck, down to your collarbones, activating lymph system. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Activating the cells in your skin, which is your largest external organ is your skin. Guess what? It loves to be touched in every way. Breast, under the breast, navel area especially. Oh, the whole body just loves to be touched. Oh, loves to be touched. Don't be afraid to touch the body to bring peace. In fact, one of the first things you want to do when you feel anxious or upset or tired is touch your heart and say, be still, my heart, be still. I love you, I love you, I love you. The body wants to hear, I love you. So we're going to, Robert Young says, breathe. Yes, that's the first step to bring peace within. So I'm going to move to my studio. So enjoy the music for a minute. Keep breathing.
I sat with shadows, made them friends, let go of battles that never end. Now I walk softer, speak with care, leave space for joy in the open air. Peace ain't loud, don't demand. It lives in stillness, it holds your hand. It shows up slow like ocean tide, but once it comes, it stays inside. Peace within, that's where I begin. No need to prove, no need to win. In every breath, I learn again to live.
Thank you for the music. And that picture that I put up as I went to my studio was me in Costa Rica in a hammock in the jungle having peace. That was one of my most peaceful moments. I had to just put that in my feet. I took a picture. I had my toenails painted and I took a picture and I was like, this is the most peaceful moment, being in a hammock in Costa Rica with the jungle and the perfect weather. And then we come back to Estados Unidos and hell's breaking loose and all that. And then we have to know how to have peace now. And my experience with my dad was the psychology of adjustments has to be activated. In his life, that's what helped him reach the age of 95 years, because he took a class called the psychology of adjustment. And he says he always reminded me that's what kept him in peace most of his life, even 3 wives later, and just all kinds of challenges, the death of his oldest child. And he still made it to 95 because he had a lot of peace within. So one of the classes I want to introduce you, if you don't already know, to the psychology of adjustments. We're going to do some tapping later which helps us let go of any non peace energy, any anxiety, fear. But this class right here, I want you to think about having this class in your own life, not just signing up in a school, but realizing that the psychology of adjustments is a lifestyle that helps you keep peace. Okay. So this woman is teaching it. It's only 2 minutes. She's teaching this class. She's going to explain to you what my dad experienced, what probably in the 1940s. Yeah, 1940s, that kept him in peace for most of his life.
I'm Dr. Sue Hunter, and I'm a mentor here at Cal Southern University. This is the Introduction to Psychology 2410. It's a psychology of adjustment. In this class, you're going to look at yourself more than other people. We have a theory in psychology, and that is you got to know yourself before you can know your clients and your patients. So before you can help others, you got to help yourself. You got to make sure yourself is balanced and that you have good mental health. So in this course, we're going to look at things that stress you out. We're going to look at your love skills and how you were raised and how you adjust to new things in life. So what stresses you out in life? Maybe bad drivers, maybe work. To get rid of your stress, what do? That's one of the things we're going to look at is how do you deal with stress yourself? There's two types of stress. There's good stress and there's bad stress. We have to have stress in our life to survive. So some of you that think that all the stress is bad, that's not necessarily true. A lot of the stress is good stress, and that helps us give thrive to what we want to do in life. The other topic we're going to look at is intimacy and love. We're going to look at patterns that your parents taught you in the home. As you grew up as a child, how did you see your parents interact with each other? This might not seem like a big part of psychology of adjustment, but to become who you are, you had to see examples. So the way you love and the way you interact with people is a result from how your parents loved and how they interacted. And some of you came from a single parent home. That's okay. You still learned love skills. It didn't have to be a two-parent home. I think you're really going to enjoy this course. You're going to learn a lot about yourself and you're going to learn a lot about others.
So that's the class we all should be in every day. Learning a lot about ourselves, thinking about the relationship you had with your parents, how that affected you, how you were raised, how you're dealing with your work environment or not, how you're dealing in relationships, what kind of love skills you had. And the big one is stress. I have for the last, I'd say 15, 20 years, I've been telling people stress is the number one cause of disease. It's not just stress, it's the way you respond or react to that stress. So stress can be your friend. Absolutely. I don't even think there's good and bad stress. It's just the tension that we experience in life, and then the master computer, the command center says, how am I going to respond to this tension and stress and anxiety and challenges? I know people are going through some major life challenges right now. Are you going to worry about it and what could happen in the future? Or what if this happens? What if that happens? Are you going to just tackle it in the moment and find a peace within? And the help from your ancestors, your angels, your creator. That's how we get peace within, as we call on the command center to activate this creative great mind. And Marianne Williamson is someone who I have, she has written books galore, taught galore. And I found this video that I want to share with you because she brings again the teaching we need in this moment with the Buddhist. How do we handle stress and keep the peace? So let us listen to Marianne Williamson, who's a great teacher, a motivator, who can help us, remind us to use this mind and go within for peace. She's a good teacher for that.
Endure this moment. We're living at a time
to talk for a minute about how to emotionally and psychologically endure this moment. We're living at a time of a great dissembling. Things are crumbling, things are falling apart that most of us never thought in our lifetime we would see fall away the way they are. And the institutional forces that we always thought we could look to because, well, they would handle it if anything went too terribly wrong, are either nullified and unable to do better, or for whatever reason, unwilling to do better. And so, on one hand, it's, you could look at all that and go, well, this is one hopeless moment. But it doesn't have to be, because our hope is in who we are becoming as people. But the old strategies, the old mechanistic, rationalistic thinking, the old basically displacing of our own power onto other people who we thought knew more than we did, which in its own way was a way of giving up, surrendering the power of citizenship, those days are over. 20th century thinking will not solve these 21st century problems. So let's think about all the ways that we can expand not only our ways of being, but through new ways of thinking, do that. Dalai Lama said, in order to save the world, we must have a plan, but no plan will work unless we meditate. So whether you look at these things religiously, spiritually, or secularly, practices such as mindfulness, let's not forget that what's happening now is an assault on our nervous system. And when your nervous system is under assault, then you're not doing your best thinking. And your energy is not who you need to be. None of us are. When we're so frantic and panicked and desperate or depressed or anxious, we're just not at our best, and we have to be. The world is not going to get better now unless we get better, because it has to be through us. There's an old saying, God cannot do for us what he cannot do through us. So whatever your practice is, like I said, it could be religious, prayer, spiritual, meditation, yoga, mindfulness, secular, it doesn't matter. Truth is one, and nobody up there worries about the words. But something that has to do with finding a place of quiet within us and reflection. The world is so loud and crazy and chaotic, and if you wake up and the first thing you do in the morning is just go to social media or any of the news that's just assaulting us all the time, it's like you're saying, come on, world, chaos of the world, eat me alive. We have to ground ourselves, particularly in the morning, even if it's only 5 minutes, to ground yourself in something meaningful and real. It could be a walk through nature. It could be something that has to do with quiet time within yourself, grounding yourself in a peaceful, quiet place that then will become a kind of attitudinal muscle. That's what we need to do. We need to cultivate internal musculature. Just like you have to cultivate your external muscles, you cultivate a muscle for non-reactivity, the muscle for peace despite. And we are cultivating our capacity to see through this, because there is going to be an end to this. And as soon as we have the power to do so, we need to make sure that America is a very different place, and that in every way that we can, the world will be a better place. And that's going to have to do with a radical realignment with the ways of nature, radical realignment with the ways of goodness and ethics and truth and love and mercy and justice. And it's not going to happen unless we ourselves become the conduits and the channels through which it does. What is the America you want? So there's been all this talk about manifestation and visualization. Well, don't just visualize the world you want for yourself. Visualize the planet the way you wish to see it. Ask yourself questions which too often have been treated as quaint or trite. A new paradigm, not of competition, but of collaboration. That is the only world which will be literally survivable for ourselves and our children. Definitely for our children's children. We're not going to be able to just strategize that with old think. New visions will emerge, new ideas will emerge, new synapses will occur. But only if we look to deeper places within ourselves. We have to look to the vertical, not just the horizontal.
So as she said, no matter what your spiritual religious practice is, it's time for a realignment. It's like a spiritual chiropractic adjustment, realignment. If you've been suffering and in pain and running to the doctor every month, oh, what's wrong with me? Help me, help me, help me. That needs to stop, stop, stop. We have so much information on Meta AI, for instance. I use my AI is with WhatsApp. WhatsApp has a little circle at the bottom, and sometimes I tap on, ask a question, and boom, 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 I get a good answer. So I use that and keep going. But that's where we are. We have so much technology that we don't have to be running the doctors. What you need is to find the peace within and educate yourself. It's no longer just entertainment, right? We can't just be sitting and being entertained all day or at night. It has to be edutainment, edutainment, educating yourself about and my Wi-Fi acting up, but educating yourself about what you're being entertained by. I keep debating whether to go see Avatar, the new Avatar movie. Has anybody seen it? Let me know what you thought about it. Because 3 hours of entertainment, I'm like, no, no, I can't do that. But as I've always done in the past, when I go to any movie, I would always pray, please help me see the spiritual message in this movie. Please help me learn what about your universe creator. What do I need to learn spiritually from this movie? That's always been my prayer. So when I'm ready to go see Avatar, my son keeps saying his daughter wants to see it, so we might make it a family event for 3 hours. I'm sure there's a break there somewhere because I hope when you go to movies, you have those chairs that you can lift your legs up. Otherwise, it can be grueling for some of us. Anyway, I digress. But I'm just saying, no more just entertain me, entertain me, entertain me. Please, please, please be more mindful that this is a season, as Marian points out, for a realignment on all of us so that we can have a more peaceful community, peaceful city, peaceful world. Now, the stresses that are coming up right now, especially health wise, this is health and well being with Viata. I keep seeing people talking about the flu, and that's the fear mongering because even I think even the measles has come up, and there are even some employers who think we citizens need another jab in the arm. Not me, never, ever, ever, ever. And I hope you will be really seriously considering to ever, never, ever have another jab in your arm because there's too much corruption in the pharmaceuticals and every other organization that's pushing that. No, 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 no. Let us look at. So I pulled up Dr. Suneel Dhand. He's the most informative, conscious doctor that I know. So as we end this show, I want you to be educated about the flu. What's really happening about the flu? Because that word is fear mongering right now. People are dying. They're getting pneumonia. In fact, I had a friend tell me about a man who worked in the same health food store that I worked in. He just passed away at the age of 78. I think he was 78 from pneumonia. But he went into the hospital. He caught he caught a sickness. Let's just say he caught a sickness. He went into the hospital. He refused any treatment from the hospital for this what came happened to be pneumonia, and he ended up passing away. Now I remember this man had a very kind of depressed personality. He was never very friendly. He was just really sedated in some ways. And so I remember, I know his face even. He worked in the same store, and then he worked at another store that I met him in. And I just looked at the personality of this person being somewhat depressed and having no peace. Okay. So it just shows how right now, during this fear mongering, flu mongering season, measles mongering, whatever you want to call it, we need to be educated. So here's some wisdom from Dr. Suneel Dhand and his team. He now has a team, two other guys that he makes educate us in truth, because you're not going to get the truth from media, mainstream media. So let's get what's really happening with the flu this year. All of these men internal medicine, cardiology, and primary care. They're going to give it to us straight so you don't have to have any fear about the flu.
Super flu that. More hospitalizations. We want to have a very frank and honest discussion about what is going on this season. Are more people getting sick? Are there other drivers of more people getting the flu? And we will, of course, talk about the flu shots as well, which are being offered and encouraged. And for anybody who enjoys our discussions, please check in the links down below. Make sure you've signed up and subscribe to our separate Doctors of Ohio channel, where we have a lot of exclusive content posted, all related to your health and well-being. Let's dive right in. Very important right now. We're hearing it everywhere. Dr. Ben, what do you make of this?
Well, the statistics are showing there is increased hospitalizations compared to last year. There's probably increased infections, but the big question is why? Is it the virus itself? Is it the influenza strain, or are there other causes that we're not looking at that could be related?
Yeah, that is a great place to start. I mean, I would say every year, in fact, this is provable. If you go online, go on Google, pretty much every year, there are stories about hospitals being overwhelmed with influenza. So firstly, are hospitals underprepared when they know this is coming? And are there other factors involved here? I mean, chronic understaffing seems to be a problem pretty much across the Western world. And it's like you expect something coming every winter, but yet the same thing keeps happening. It raises massive questions about preparation.
Oh, so true. I think that it's not just one thing that spikes flu cases. And I'm a firm believer that the flu and other viral syndromes are not just picked up by walking past someone. And so you have shared air when you breathe in droplets, and people can be exposed, but then people get infection. So what is the determining factor of people who get exposed who turn into infections? And I'm a firm believer that metabolic health is a true driving factor of this, and that we know that the influenza virus is a systemic inflammatory response. It's not just a lung disease, right? It's not just affecting lungs. It affects the weakest part of your body. And inflammation, if it's present before, it's going to be exacerbated by influenza. It drops the guardrails down with your immune system, and those are the people that are going to be more susceptible. Those are the people who are exposed and who turn into infections.
Yes, and I'm so glad that you started with that, because we see these statistics, the mainstream media, and indeed the medical establishment, full-blown warnings. Flu is very bad this year. Here is what you have to do. You have to take this precaution, that precaution. But how can they not even once? And I've scanned a few of these headlines and the actual article. They never even mention once the fact that tens of millions, hundreds of millions of Americans have really poor metabolic health, and as a consequence, poor immunity. I mean, this is common sense. If you haven't got good baseline health, then you're much less likely to tolerate exposure to a virus. That virus is going to affect you much more. Doctors knew this for generations. What's gone wrong, Dr. Ben, in the last couple of decades that this is not even mentioned, not even as an afterthought?
Well, you see this all the time with people who are very unhealthy, have a very unhealthy lifestyle. They take too many substances, they're on too many medications, they're obese, they don't exercise. They'll get sick very, very frequently. I see this all the time. One problem they're having is their immune system has been severely weakened and they're chronically inflamed. So they're susceptible to the viruses that are around us all the time. There are viruses floating around the air all the time. Now, the difference is if your immune system is strong and you're taking good care of yourself, you should be able to fight it off very reasonably. We get infected by the influenza virus every single year, and the vast, vast majority of the population fights it off. You may miss a few days of work, you may have a pretty bad week, but you fight it off. Or you may have a very mild exposure to it, and may have very mild symptoms. But metabolic health is a big part of your ability to respond to a viral infection.
That's so true. And in preparation, and people keep hearing about the upcoming flu season, make sure you get your shot. When have you ever heard or the media talking about, let's get your metabolic health in order?
Right.
That would be a much more effective way in reducing these mass outbreaks of influenza, more so than just mandating people to do certain things, right? No one is mandated to be healthier.
That's right. And we're talking about simple common sense things. At least mention it. And
it's so important to note, yes, if you are overweight or obese at any age, that's essentially inflammatory tissue, and you're a sitting duck, if I can put it that way, for a severe infection. So somebody who's healthy and in shape is much more likely to maybe have the sniffles for a couple of days, whereas somebody who has excessive body fat will be down for the count, out for days. This really applies at any age. Now, of course, somebody who's at a more extreme of age, somebody who's more vulnerable, will come to common sense measures soon. It's fair to say that there are certain things when you're a certain age and very vulnerable that can still knock you out. But I'm a firm believer that at any age, metabolic health should be a prime focus, and you are much less likely to have a severe infection and end up in hospital.
Now, these guys love to talk about the metabolic health and all the things you can do for your immune system. But my experience over the last 35 years and more is that your emotional awareness and intelligence is number one key factor to keep you healthy. I have had too many. I wrote a book, by the way, in case those of you who are new. I wrote a book about my journey with breast cancer and all the people and prostate cancer and the people who I met who had serious relationship issues. The reason they developed these diseases had more to do, in my opinion, with their emotional intelligence or awareness, because people got into fear about their life. And so that fear is a very low frequency. The fear of what's going to happen next, or what am I going to do, and why is this happening to me, and I don't know why victimitis is what I call it. And that to me is the biggest influence of your health and your ability to overcome sickness. Because if you're swimming in fear and anxiety and worry, you're going to be sick. You can just guarantee it, because your cells, and let me just put it this way, my experience is your pH is going to be acidic. And if you know anything about Warhol, who got a Pulitzer Prize for his research on how cancer can't grow in an oxygen-rich environment. Let me say that again. Warhol is his name, I think, and he got a Nobel Peace Prize on his research where he proved that cancer cells cannot live in an oxygen-rich environment. So how do you keep your inner body rich with oxygen? Well, number one, breath work. You're consciously taking in more oxygen, not sighing and some people think, well, I'll do breath work for an hour this morning and then I'm done. I don't have to do any more breath work. No. You might have to do it all day, depending on the challenges that you meet all day. Your first response, even as the head monk on this walk mentioned in a video this week, is to breathe. Breathe deeper. Breathe deeper. So when you get more oxygen in your body, you're going to remove the fear for the most part. Because again, if you're linking your command center, the brain, to your gut and the rest of your body, your brain says, breathe, breathe, and keep breathing, doing your breath work until you're calm, until you come down, until you raise your pH. pH is your potential for hydrogen in your body. And that hydrogen is what is going to keep you well. So when you want to prevent disease, EFT is something that I practice regularly when I have any anxiety, frustration, fear, worry, doubt. It's like, even though I have this anger, or even though I have this fear, which are all going to lower your immune system and not keep the peace, anytime you recognize emotional awareness of I'm not in peace, it's time to tap. It's time to tap. Keep that sense of consciousness and awareness whenever you're not in peace that you need to tap. If you can't get out of that anxiety and that fear right away, then it's going to affect your cells and your immune system. So this flu season, it will not keep you in bed for weeks and weeks if you are in emotional awareness. And the main tool that I promote, that I use personally, is tapping. You're connecting to the meridians, the lines of energy in your body that can flip the anxiety into peace. This is so important in your journey to avoid hospitals and emergency rooms and doctors who are totally unconscious and all they want to do is bring out a prescription pad, which is not going to help much because it might suppress the symptoms. But do you want to just keep suppressing symptoms, or do you want to heal the body's low frequency vibrations that are causing you to be fearful, anxious, and worried about everything? Because especially, as a senior citizen, these millennials are blaming baby boomers for some of the things that have happened in their life. But guess what? Baby boomers have had more challenges, I think, than any other generation. Look at what we've had to go through, from the dial tone phone to now a phone in our hand. So we've had more challenges in our lifetime to present to our children or younger generation a peaceful state of mind. We've had to overcome a hell of a lot, in my opinion. So when I hear millennials blaming, they really do want to blame the boomers, like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. And I'm saying, don't even blame those guys. Those guys had a role to play in the evolution of a people from looking for a savior. Do we need a savior? Some people do. If you need a savior, go right ahead on that pathway. But you are really the savior because the kingdom is within you. We have to become our own savior. Can't look to the government because they're too busy supplying Israel and other countries with war weapons. So can't look to them. The homeless are being criminal. It's a crime now to even have a tiny house in some places, to sleep in your car, to sleep in a van. People are hiding in storage units these days to find us at $60 a month. That's all they can afford. Get a storage unit and sneak in there at night and close your door and go to sleep. And that's how people are living these days. And even it's becoming a crime to park your van and sleep in it. So what do we do? First of all, build up this vessel with tapping. Let go of fear, let go of anxiety. These are the main meridians are on your face, over the eyebrow, side of the eyebrow. Letting go of fear, anxiety, worry about my future, because I'm blessed. I'm blessed. And I have angels, I have ancestors, I have messengers, and I'm going to develop a community of human beings, yes, who can help and support me. That should be your mission if you're finding yourself in a desperate situation, is to find other like-minded people, and they become angels to support you on this journey, not to save you, but to support you, maybe give you a place to sleep once in a while. That's our mission, is to build a community within first. We're going to build up this community within. And don't worry about the flu, because if you're walking in peace, joy, love, forgiveness, gratitude, flu can't touch you. Flu is looking for people who are depressed, anxious, worry, fearful. They're way down here in their mental state. That's the flu coming at you. It's going to come at you because your pH is acid. Your pH gets alkaline when you're walking in gratitude and forgiveness and joy. And then keep that tapping going. Tapping, 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 tapping all over. Tapping, tapping, and letting go. Letting go of worry, fear, doubt, and anxiety. And just tapping in. And the end of your tapping, it should be all gratitude. I'm so grateful that I have a friend who I can call. I'm grateful that I'm still walking. I'm still grateful that I'm still breathing. I'm grateful that I have money in the bank. Some people have tons of money in the bank and they're still worried. And some of us who have hardly any money in the bank, we're happy as we can be, because there's a faith that surpasses all understanding. And there's a song to keep us vibrating at a higher level. Find your song that can keep you vibrating. If you got money in the bank, that's half the battle these days. Don't worry about anything. If you got some money, enough money in the bank to meet your needs, just make changes, basically. But if you don't have money in the bank, just start affirming, I am rich, I am wealthy, I am healthy. Do not let the I am be followed by anything negative. You're going to create a chaos in your life, and you won't create peace. Here's how: with your words, you create peace. With your lifestyle, you create peace. Your words, especially, I am, are two of the most powerful words you can express to create whatever you want. My favorite phrases now: I am healthy, wealthy, and wise, and I am full of love and light. And it's here. It's here. I'm full of love and light. I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, and I'm wise. Money's coming at me every day in new ways. I am healthy. Do not let words harm your goals. Do not let words affect your dynamics in your life. Do not let the words bring you down. Let the words lift you up. I am healed. I am healthy. I'm wealthy. I am wise. I am beautiful. Look in that mirror and say, I'm beautiful. I am strong. I don't care how weak you feel. Don't ever admit you're weak. No, don't do that, because your cells are going to maintain the weak status if you keep speaking those words. You are snared by the words from your mouth, and scripture says you have the power of life and death in your tongue. Ayanna Van Zandt said in a recent interview, the womb is right here. This is the womb that will give birth to wonderful things in your life. If you're consciously expressing life from this womb, that tongue. So here we are, the end of another health and well-being. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you want to bless me with a donation, my Cash App is $Vieta Robinson. I'm healthy, wealthy, and wise either way, though. But if you bless me with a donation, you're going to be healthier and wealthier, and blessings will come to you as well, because giving, of course, is a blessing. I carry dollar bills in my car. Just looking for those people holding up the cardboard signs, because I want to be blessed spiritually by letting go of money that I have been blessed with, paying it forward to somebody who's standing on a corner with a cardboard sign. They need help. They need help. They need help. Here, I got the money right here. I'm prepared now, because I feel good when I do that. And I hope you do. Take some time to bless people who are less fortunate than you. If I'm driving in a car in the heat and it's hot outside and somebody is begging for something, I'm blessed. I'm going to send forward that blessing to them. That's how we're going to change the world. Peace within. Peace within. That's where it all begins. And so thank you for joining me this morning. I think I covered all the comments. Let's see, comments here. Any more comments? Breathe. We got some positive comments. Thank you all for joining me. Go out and get some sun. It's going to be 80 degrees this weekend in Florida. So they say. Come on down to Florida. If you can, drive down here before it gets too cold up there. But either way, the cold is meant for you, guess what? To go within. Find that peace within. Find the peace within.
Remember, peace will guide you home.
Yes.
It's not out there.
Breathe.
It's in your skin.
Yes.
You're not lost, you're just within.
Sing that song.
Peace within. That's where I begin. No need to prove. No need to win. In every breath, I learn again.
Every breath, and every breath, learn again to live, to love, and just remain. As the monks are saying, we're cultivating loving kindness, compassion, and love and peace so that this world can experience all that we are cultivating. So let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Keep it going. Keep walking in the energy of loving kindness, peace, and love, and joy, and compassion. That's what these monks representing right now. Sharing their mission, their hearts, sharing their hearts with people along the way who need some love. So thank you all for being here with me today. And let's share this with those who might need some encouragement to share peace within, cultivate peace within. Let's do it. Let's do. We can do it. Support one another. Let's build our communities and support one another. To all my yogi friends out there, namaste, sat nam, aho, aho, you Native American love energy going out. And ashe, ashe, oh, to all my synchronistic human family. And as always, shalom, shalom. Be in the peace that is all that you're made of. Mwah, love you.